Anthony, great to see you again. Welcome back to Popternative.
Thank you for having me. It's good to see you.
You know, it's so crazy because it's like one of those things where we were waiting, we were going to get more XO Kitty, and we got more XO Kitty, and people are going to be able to see it. And it's interesting, right? Because it's equal playing field for everyone involved for season one. Like for you specifically, you've never played this character before. We've never seen some of these new characters. We've seen Anna's character. But what's that like for a season two? Like, are you still learning? Are you more comfortable with this character? Like, what's that like for you returning for season two?
Yeah, I think we're all still learning everything about our characters. We never know where our character is going to go until we're actually there filming. So, I would say like season one was definitely more challenging in ways. There were a lot of different factors. It being my first time in Korea and filming internationally, besides Canada, which doesn't
Yeah.
really. And for a lot of our cast, it was their first time ever acting on a television set. So. I think that being, our season one came with a ton of challenges. And then with season two, I feel like everybody felt a lot more comfortable. We felt more in tune with each other and our characters. And it all just made for like a way more low pressure environment. And I feel like that translates on screen. Like we look like we're having a lot more fun, I think.
It's it's crazy too because it's like that's something too where there's some new characters this season, but everyone's kind of back. What did it feel like that first day back for season two? Like, did it feel like you were just picking up where you left off? Did it feel like you haven't seen these people in a long time? I know with social media, there's like keeping in touch, but at some point before you come back for season two, there is a lot of people doing other things too, right? So like you might
Yeah.
not see everyone.
Yeah, and it's definitely weird like returning to a show like almost 2 years later. We had wrapped in June of 2022 for season one, and then we picked back up in April of 2024. So it was a long time in between seasons. But when we got back into the swing of things, it felt like no time had passed. Like that is a true testament to like the chemistry we have as a cast. And I think like just knowing that and having that in our back pocket was really crucial to making the season really good. And I think it really just like flowed when we got back into the swing of things for sure.
Absolutely. You know what? Like, we'll see where this goes, whether we'll release this by the time all the episodes drop on Netflix. But, I want to talk because there's some really cool things with your character this season. Like, I really love the storyline this season. So, what we
Yeah.
got this season, and we mentioned like new characters, right? Is we got this rivalry that might or might not be more than just a rivalry. It might be a romance, it might be something else. And I'm wondering what it's like for you reading this in the script, like this storyline with your character, and then seeing it kind of come to life on screen, that script to screen journey. What's that like? Because I really love the storyline for you this season.
No, I agree. Thank you for saying that. I love my storyline as well. I definitely knew going into it what it was going to turn into.
Yeah.
Because like during the casting process before we even went out to Korea, I had done like chemistry reads with actors who were reading for the part of Jin. And so I understood like what that relationship was going to start out like and how it was going to end. And it was really cool to like have that new kind of storyline. I know with like season one, like we had Kitty kind of set Q up and then we saw how that turned out. And this time, it looks like Q is like trying to do it on his own, and it might not start out how he wanted eventually, but it eventually turned into something that I think was like a beautiful relationship. But it was really fun to get to play that side of things, and also getting to work with Joshua Lee, who's my scene partner and who plays Jin on the show. So yeah, it was fun. I would say that that's like the best way to explain it. Like it wasn't stressful. It wasn't like, oh gosh, like are we gonna have chemistry? Because we'd already like figured that part out before we'd even got there.
Mhm.
So it was just fun. It
Maybe
was a
we
good.
can release this before they're out. I don't know. Maybe we can release this before January 6th. If you didn't really say much, I mean, like, it's kind of cool. Like, if they're going to find out at some point. No, it's like, no,
I
because
mean,
there's
like
some,
in the trailer, like you can see that Q has a new love interest. Like it's not a spoiler for sure.
no, but
Like
it's like there's some really cool things. Like, I just love the way it develops. You know what I mean by that? You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. Sorry, and then I'll give you a little bit more. I
No,
guess I
no, no,
didn't.
no. I'm just
For it to be
we'll just
like,
leave it. No, no. I'll get back to that because I do want to talk about working with Joshua specifically. But I want to go back to season one a little bit. Did you feel like you were in a unique casting situation coming on a show like XO Kitty, kind of similar with Love, like Love Victor, where like it's based on something very popular, so there's familiar territory but unfamiliar territory at the same time. Did you think about that as a unique casting situation?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all honestly, like I didn't think I would be on this show. Like during the casting process, I wasn't sure if that was like the step that I wanted to take in my career, being on a show like very similar in terms of the genre and the character.
Yeah.
But like the creatives were very adamant that this was a different type of romance show. And it really is. Like it's a completely different show than Love Victor. And I think that's what kind of like enticed me more. Like I am, yeah, it's a completely like nuanced and different type of show that you don't really see on television right now,
Yeah.
like the hybrid of it being a K-drama and American drama, but also it being a 30 minute, so it doesn't feel too heavy. So yeah, there were like a lot of different pieces that kind of made it very fun for me to audition for, because it's true, like there's not, I can't think of another show like this, like people compare it a lot to Emily in Paris, but like this show is like truly like half K-drama, half American dramedy. Like
Yeah.
there there's so many different kinds of parts to it. And so yeah, the casting process, I didn't have a full grasp of it at first because I didn't have more than one script. But then when I like sat down with Jenny Han and Sasha Rothschild, who created and show ran season one, they kind of laid it out for me, and I was like, oh my God, I have to be a part of something like this.
A show like this, like the way you kind of mention it right now, like you pictured it, it's like it's such a big machine, right? It's a big show. Like you said, it's got the K drama, it's got the US component, like it's got all of that. But like I'm just wondering, because it's such a big project, there's so many amazing people involved, and there's so much kind of happening before we go to camera. Do you ever think about like going behind the camera and like producing and writing or like directing when you're on a show like that, when you see all these big pieces come together, or do you want to really focus specifically on acting? I'm curious about that.
I mean, acting will always be my first love. I love what I do. It's crazy because like I feel more comfortable being in someone else's shoes, which is kind of sad. I should talk to my therapist about that. But I have a lot of fun doing what I do. But at the same time, like being in it and understanding all the different cogs that fit into this machine, I
That was the
am.
word. I was like, I fumbled. I was thinking cogs. That was the word. I don't know. You go back and watch the interview. I don't know what word I said, but I was trying to find that
Yeah, no,
word.
I'm aligned with you for sure. Um, but yeah, I love also writing, and I
Yeah.
have written in the past, and it's just like a very difficult piece of the industry to like break into. And like you can ask any writer in this industry, like it's a tough job. And I feel like rooms are getting smaller and there are less opportunities for writers. So and eventually one day, like when I'm in a place where I have like a solidified relationship with the studio, I'd love to bring a script of mine to them and pitch it and see what could happen with it. But also like I really enjoy like shadowing directors that are on set and like seeing their process and understanding like what makes them tick and like how they see a shot versus how I would see a shot and how they would execute it. So there are so many different pieces of this show, this industry, or like what we do that I am definitely interested in, will not like close myself off to in the
Yeah.
future. If the opportunity presents itself, I would absolutely take it because
Yeah.
in all honesty, like I just want to learn. It's
Yep.
not something that I don't want to be known to as a director, but if that happens one day, I'm not opposed to it.
It's a day by day thing. It's a go with the flow thing, 100%.
Yeah.
But whether this interview was out, I feel like there's a theme of like when this interview is going to drop. You know what I mean? But whether this interview is going to drop before or after the episodes are out, cat's out of the bag that there's a really cool guest appearance for season two. Noah Centineo has returned and to the universe, and he will be in this season. When did you all find out about this? Like as a cast?
I think we found out pretty early on, like we hadn't gotten all the scripts, but we knew that he was like in talks to
Okay,
return.
so there was like rumblings, yeah.
Yes, yeah. And then our very first shooting day was with Noah. Like
Wow.
even his episode, I think is episode 5.
Yeah.
Um, he was based off his schedule, they had moved things around, and so like Anna and like some of the other cast members got to film with him like on our first like actual shoot day.
Okay.
So we knew pretty early on that he was coming, that he was going to be there.
Oh, awesome. And I just wanted to know, like, what were some, we mentioned, Q has some really cool storylines this season, and there's a lot of cool things in his interactions with Anna, with Kitty specifically. There's a lot of growth. What was something you really loved about season 2 that we saw more of this season than last season, or something that you didn't have much of in season 1? Like, what is an element you love that's like an exclusive season 2 Exo Kitty thing specifically?
Um, I really love that we got to see more of Juliana
Mhm.
and Reagan.
Yeah.
Because she had signed on as a series regular season 1, but was only used in 4 episodes and was very rarely talked about in season 1. And she's such a talent and she's so good at what she does that I felt it was almost like a disservice to her that she wasn't being utilized. And the fact that they bumped up her like storyline for season 2 and we got to see so much more of her, I think that added a lot to our show because she's truly like, I think she's one of the best parts of our show. She delivers the most like nuanced performances on our show. And so getting to see her, not only that, but also work with her, like I had a couple scenes with her just one-on-one, that was really fun for me and that was exciting for me. And I hope the audience is going to be receptive to that because she's truly just so great at what she does. Um, on a less like artistic and serious note, I think our outfits are way better this season. I do. And like we have the same costume director too. So I'm not trying to like drag Mo. I love Mo. Like she's the best. And I just think she didn't have as much time to prepare for season 1 as she did with season 2. Because we had done fittings weeks before we went out to Korea for season 2. We had really fine-tuned and like honed in on our individual styles for our characters. And she was able to like bring pieces from the US, whereas before she was only able to like get things in Korea. So we were able to bring a lot more style, I think, into season 2, which I'm excited for people to see because I definitely love the clothes that I wore.
Those were fantastic answers. And like you
Yeah.
got best of both worlds. Like that was
Yeah.
perfect. No, that was so well done. And I can't wait for people to see season 2 of Exo Kids. It's gonna be worldwide on Netflix, January 16th. So can't wait. We're starting, 2025 with some new Exo Kitty, which people have been waiting. Part of the gig is you see what's out there. People want this like badly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And that's definitely like so flattering for not only me, but I know the whole cast, like to know that there's been such a lapse between season 1 and season 2, but the fan base has stayed incredibly strong and are still very vocal about wanting this show. So that means a lot to us, to the creators, to our cast and crew. Like that's a huge deal. So
Mhm.
the wait is almost over. Hold on, just a few more weeks.
Yeah,
Like we're almost there.
absolutely. Anthony, so great seeing you again, man. Thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Thank you. Good to see you too, my friend.
Well, this has been Pop Turner, youtube.com/PopTurner for previous episode. Until next time, this is Anthony and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.